Ha! They want you to have sympathy for them after they gave you zero sympathy in their mandates and their police actions. So the question to be asked is, technically at law, what is sympathising with an enemy? Do we have sympathy for officers that died in the duty that they took an oath to obey? Of course we don't. They didn't join your crown. They joined a foreign crown as peacekeepers against you on your soil. And they want you to have sympathy for them when they did what they did to you for the last 3 years, with video evidence of police commissioner threatening you with jabbies. This police commissioner mandated against a Rule 92 international humanitarian law offence the jabby of the employment of the very officers that are in discussion at the moment. Do we have sympathy for that? Of course not. Do they have sympathy for us after they poisoned us with their lab-created poisons? Of course not. Your society is a joke. You have no loyalty or valour left in your society when these officers bend the knee for BLM. You have no valour or loyalty left in your society when you don't know who you are anymore and you don't defend the very core foundations of the very people you became. You don't do squat when they occupied your country and put UN peacekeepers on your soil as policy enforcement and removed the power of sheriff and peacekeeper. You don't seem to comprehend the world you live in as children and slaves to this government who continue to nanny you. It should be very apparent to you by the way they address you and speak to you. They treat you like 5-year-olds today. They treat you like children. It should be very apparent to you that these people in government know exactly what they are doing. Scott Morrison issued flag pin and got his New Age cabinet to stand together, displaying a line of authority in which he held when pushed over red ensign and line of authority in the Anzac and Australian Imperial Crown. Scott Morrison knew exactly what he was doing when he sold your assets. Scott Morrison knew exactly what he was doing in the matter of the robo-debts. The matter that he put flag pin on New Age cabinet, meaning 30 or 40 members of parliament, demonstrates his loyalties to a specific line of authority in full knowledge. It is in this that you should comprehend that Scott Morrison is a war criminal. He works for a foreign crown in your land, an administrating power that is now asking you for sympathy after not giving you any in a Rule 92 international humanitarian law offence by forcing employees of the Queensland Police Force to take the jabby. It's about time you lot woke up and started to see what was going on around you instead of getting swept up in the politics. Canberra should have shown you with Colleton and Bossy what they are willing to do with your flag, to desecrate the very lineage of your Anzac, to get ahead in politics. This is what a traitor is at law. Cullerton is a technical and legal traitor to your Commonwealth of Australia for doing what he did with the flag of your very Anzac land war flag under captivity under Hague Conventions for War on Land, Article 55, administrators under the Rules of Usufruct. Do you have sympathy for a foreign power, an enemy in your lands? Do you have sympathy for the very people that have closed your car industries and your clothing industries and caused the cost of food and energy to go up in your lands while they send your food and energy offshore? Do you comprehend what's going on with your food bowl or your land titles? Do you comprehend what Crown land is and the personage of your title is? There comes a point when it is on court record displaying very clearly that these Crown officers are a foreign power that have curially overthrown you as the line of authority in the people and occupied you from foreign lands and controlled your governance through Federal Executive Council. They bankrupted you on purpose and have defrauded you out of your administered country. They have defrauded you and then committed international humanitarian law offences, specifically Rule 90 and Rule 92 offences, by mandating the jabby-jabby across employment workforces. This is slavery. By enforcing something like this, which was agreed upon at law to be at a choice of the person who was medically being looked at, it wasn't at the choice of an employer who could demand that of, and especially at the state level, being the Crown. This would then define the Governor of State as being the responsible party to any of this, because outside of any Parliament, emergency acts were used against the people. You have a very, very large problem on your hands that none of you are willing to address, while you get blindsided by the media in the last few days over a couple of police officers that would have met the nightly news one day and been forgotten the next. There is something more underlying all of this, given the media attention and the propaganda that is being pushed around at you, especially at a time where there is Scott Morrison talking lies before all of you. Scott Morrison clearly knew who he was working for by issuing flag pin to his New Age cabinet. I think you're children, I think you're asleep, I think you're going to have a lot of problems coming ahead because of your greed and your selfishness and your total inability to be aware of what these people are doing to you to enslave you further. You have been in a slavery situation called debt, at which they have defrauded your government. This means that people like Daniel Andrews have defrauded the public trust, and you let them into power again. It is because you do not stand up as the Crown. You are, before they came and occupied you. You do not stand up in the power that you have as a people. You prefer to be governed and nannied because it is easier for you to sit on your asses. This has been very apparent over the last 15 years when you hero yourselves to the top and then are unable to perform or do anything for the people. This is the politician in you, thinking that your opinions can override the facts. There is a maxim at law that says, a passage of time cannot make what is false the truth. You have to reverse back to what you are as a people and recognize what occupies you.